Nothing can be made more exciting than what unfolds before your very eyes right now. Good day, friends. This is Dr. Liz with you, and welcome to the first episode of the Insightful Exchange. For today's video and episode, we are joined by one of the pillars of our company, the benevolent and ever-supportive Chief Executive Officer, none other than Mr. Rajeev Thakur. Welcome, Mr. Rajeev.
Thank you, Dr. Liz. Pleasure to be in the show.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing well as well. So, for today's episode, we're going to talk about the trends and the updates of the real estate market. I'll be asking a few questions wherein you can share your insights and views about it.
Happy to do that.
So, my first question, Mr. Rajeev, is what are the factors one should look into while making real estate investments?
So, in my view, I think the first and the foremost factor is the location. And when I talk about location, it's important to look at location factors at three levels. The first is at the sovereign level, and it is important from the perspective of ensuring that the investor's money is safe, firstly, and secondly, that you get a good return on your investment. So, at the sovereign level, you look at the country risk rating, you look at the legal infrastructure, the taxation, the socio-economic profile, the economic growth rate, the crime rate, and a number of other factors. The next level is that within the country, you look at the specific regions you want to make your investment in, because different regions or cities may have different investment profile, different customer profile, and then the economic growth could be different. For example, UAE, you have 7 Emirates, and the real estate market in Northern Emirates is totally different from what you see in Abu Dhabi or Dubai. So it's very important to make that distinction. The next level of location is the specific region within the city or the area that you have looked into. So again, different areas within a given city or a region could have different profiles. Again, for example, if you take the case of Dubai, the real estate market in, let's say, JBR or Marina could be totally different from, let's say, Silicon Oasis, right? So we have to look at that factor as well. Apart from the location, the factors which is of prime importance is, I think, the real estate developer, the track record that you would be having. I think that plays a very important role. Then the specific amenities that you provided in your office or apartment or villa, what you're investing in, that's also very important. The location, the view, because that is kind of determining your future growth rate, and also the price premium that you can command. And also proximity to various landmarks like commercial center or maybe other areas of prominence, that also kind of drives the property prices. So there's a huge number of factors which comes into play when you make real estate investments.
When do you think is the best time to invest?
That's a very good question. Unfortunately, there's no right time to invest. But I think one should really look at the property cycle that you see, and try to look at the deals that might be kind of be interesting from the perspective of the point of entry as far as the investment is concerned. For example, the real estate market was quite down during the COVID period, but that was a good time to buy actually, because prices were kind of quite low, and apartments, villas, and even office spaces, they were available at throwaway prices. So one needs to take a conscious call at the price that it is going to be available at, and the premium that you can expect in the future. So that's a judgment call one has to take. So there's no right time to invest. I think you can invest across the cycles, but what's important to really make a note is in terms of the kind of property you're investing in and the location where you're investing in.
And what do you think are the prospects for real estate market in the UAE?
So I think I can answer your questions from two perspectives. Firstly, from the supply perspective, I think a lot of action is taking place. A lot of builders, they are developing properties in both the commercial and the residential space, which is really giving a lot of options to the consumers, right? So they have a lot of choices to make as far as investment is concerned. For example, we have the mega project in Jebel Ali, the Palm Jebel Ali. So that's a good investment opportunity for investors. And similarly, in the commercial space also we are seeing attractive investments being made. And from the demand perspective, I feel people are quite bullish about the strength of the UAE real estate market. And if we take just the month of August on a year-on-year basis, we have seen growth in double digits. For example, as far as sales volume is concerned, it grew by 24%, and sales transactions grew by 39%. So that's a significant number considering the fact that we have seen growth on a month-on-month basis as well. And I think from the investors' perspective, while they're bullish about the real estate market, I think some see it as a hedge against inflation. And also, there are attractive investment schemes from the government side as well. For example, the Golden Visa, that is kind of attracting investment because people see it as a pathway to kind of acquire the rights to live and work within UAE by making investments in real estate. So these things are working out.
So, Mr. Rajeev, you have mentioned about the demand. So, what is driving the demand for the real estate in Dubai?
Well, I think to answer this question, you'll have to look at what is happening across the flow of money in the real estate market globally, right? So, if we take the example of Singapore, now a couple of months back, the stamp duty on foreign investment that was increased from 30% to 60%. So, it makes a bad investment choice if you want to invest in the Singapore real estate market from an economic perspective. Similarly, if you look at the US market, so increasingly what is happening is that the insurance companies, they're not providing insurance for new homes or residences in areas like California and Florida because of the catastrophic risks. So where do investments look at alternate options? Similarly, if you look at countries like India, closer home, wherein foreign remittances, the taxation has increased from 5% to 20% for real estate investment. But the date of this taxation being effective has been revised from 1st July to 1st October, which means that there's a short window available for them to kind of make investments in alternate markets like maybe UAE. And why Dubai? So that's your question. So if the direction of money flow is changing, Dubai is certainly an attractive investment opportunity. Because if you follow stock exchanges and whereas price by earning P/E ratio is what investors look into, the inverse of that in the real estate market, inverse of rental yield is what investors look into. And this ratio is quite competitive in Dubai versus many other markets like London or New York. So it makes a favorable investment options, I would say. The other thing is that you tax-free status within Dubai, so that also kind of attracts investments. And if you are a non-resident investor, and even though there's a 9% taxation of them, you can actually apply for the Golden Visa and get bypass this regulation. And apart from that, the overall expectation of high economic growth within Dubai, zero crime rate, and fair, transparent, and very strong real estate regulations. All those are kind of important factors, I would say.
Do you see any risk factor when it comes to investments, real estate investment?
I think the first and the foremost is the interest rate, because I think it is quite high. And given the inflation numbers globally, we see that high interest rate will persist for some time. So that is one factor which may kind of delay investments, I would say. So this is one major factor. Apart from that, I think if there is economic slowdown, like what happened in the case of COVID, right, or maybe the financial crisis earlier, that may also impact real estate investment. But by the way, that can be a good time to purchase actually. And also, if there are any force majeure events which we really can't foresee, some kind of black swan events, if I may say, that may also kind of impact the real estate market.
So once again, thank you very much, Mr. Rajeev, for joining us again, for sharing your thoughts and insights. So we understand that there are a lot of factors to consider while investing into real estate, and of them, location is the most important, and that there are many price cycles in the market. There is no best time to invest, but we can consider attractive deals in the market, and that you are very positive and optimistic of the strength of the UAE real estate market. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajeev.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be in this show. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's it for today's episode. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and click on the notification bell for more updates.